we go. Good morning. Good morning, Carol, and good morning, Kim. We'll get started in a little bit. Good morning. Hi, Laura. Hi, Miss Kathy. So, I'm going to show you a little bit in my room, but not enough to give you a heart attack because this weekend I meant to clean it, but you know how that goes. That's my shelf of good intentions. That's like, these are projects and things that I need to do, and then just other stuff there. But welcome to week 1 of Cup of Cheer. And of course, this morning I woke up and like I've done so many of these sew-alongs, but they still, I don't know why I was all nervous. Like it was the first time. It's like, oh, I'm so nervous. But, and then I was like, do I have everything? And I started looking at my spreadsheet going, I did that wrong. And I hadn't done it wrong. It was actually right. I was just looking at the wrong thing. But, I don't even know on this phone where to look for the camera. And I think I'm in the right orientation for you guys right now. We'll have to watch. Thank you so much, Kathy. I hope those helped you. So we are going to be working on the spreadsheet today. Here it is. And I'm going to be starting at the top. And when I did this spreadsheet, I was just trying to think, like, how can I make it the easiest? And I thought we would start out with part A, when there is a part A and a part B, because they were, I mean, it's not in the very beginning, but starting with, and I highlighted them. So you're going to see, like, this is what we're doing today. And then here, there were no part A and part Bs. But when we went to week 3, then they threw in the ones that I highlighted with the green. Those are ones that had a part A and a part B. So they kind of sprinkled them in. So instead of us having to like worry about getting that done and then putting them together, I figured we'd do all our part A's. And that way, when we got to the part B, they would all be done. We could just do those. I organized them like I also organized the ones that we're doing today. I organized them by the type of stabilizer that we're using. And if you've done a sew along with me and a Kimberbell quilt, I usually use no-show mesh, but this was different because this was a part that was going to get sewn onto another part. So I grouped them. The top ones were ones that we're going to use just regular poly mesh, and poly mesh is also called cutaway, no-show mesh. So they all go by the same name. So that's going to be the poly mesh. And on the bottom part were the ones that we're going to use wash away or dissolve away. So wash away, dissolve away, what other things do they call them? But they're all basically the same thing. So that's what we're going to do today. And why don't we go ahead and get started? I want you to heat up your iron. And I thought I'd say hi to you today because I normally don't. And I am going to switch us over. And let's go ahead and get started. I figured we'd do the very top part and the ones that use the poly mesh. And then we would take a little break. Right here, this is our break line. We take a little break, and then we would go ahead and we would do the ones that use dissolve away. So we are going to start here. My can you see how my printer is not working? I like love this printer and I hate this printer because I constantly have to clean the heads on it. It's one of those like Epson high yields. So sometimes it's perfect and sometimes it is not. Obviously right now on my sheet it's not, but it should be perfect on your computer. So it tells you what page, what section these are all in. Later on, like week 2, this is all section number 1. So we're going to work through this one. You'll have a week to get this done, a week to get this done. But when you get this done, you'll have section 1 complete, and then you can sew it all together. And then you're going to see the numbers here. The numbers over here, those are going to be the numbers, and they ordered them. Hang on, let me grab that sheet really quickly. So this is, I feel like a student with like all my papers and my school stuff together. You know what I saw? I saw somebody had wire bound their book. So if I get a chance, I'm going to take this over to Office Depot and see if they can pull it apart and wire bound it, because that just seems so great, because then it just laid nice and flat. But all the numbers for this I got from the Quilting Design Guide. And I really just went in order. So this is going to be their section 1 right here. And you would think I'd be, and here's their section 1. So those really are in order according to this. However, again, and these notes over here on the spreadsheet, these were meant for me, but also they could be meant for you too. But I went through and I picked out how we could organize them where it would mean less hoopings and it would be more efficient. So, but this is where I got the numbers from. I got them straight from the quilting, what is this thing called? From the Quilting Design Guide. So in case you were wondering how I got the numbers and how I put them together, that is how I did it. So, without any further ado, we're going to be working on Tree Bucket Part A. This is section 2, and it's on page 35. And another thing I need you to understand is I do these. Usually I do these sew along. Sometimes I do them from the store. A lot of times I prefer to do them on Monday, so I do them from home. My house can be a busy house. So you might hear Momo come in, that's my dog, and he'll be barking, and then you might hear my kids run through. You won't hear Patrick, which normally you would, and he's so loud, so he's hard to miss. But you won't hear him because he is in Montana with Kai, and they are looking at colleges. But you might hear Violet, and you might see Momo at some point. I always feel so bad. I feel like it's so unprofessional to have them in here. But that's just how it is on Mondays at home. Okay, so if you look at your instructions, the first thing it wants you to do, and I don't think I've done any Kimberbell designs where they broke it up into a part A and a part B. But for the tree bucket right here, and these are going to be for the dimensional ones where there's pockets, like that's going to be a pocket. These are going to have zippers on them. So there's all sorts of different things that we're going to have to do that are going to be different with these. But this is what we're going to do right now. We're doing this bottom part, and we have to do this part separately because this is going to be dimensional. You're going to be able to tuck something into that little pocket for the advent calendar. So your hooping instructions: cut your stabilizer larger than the embroidery hoop and hoop the stabilizer only. They want you to use some light mesh cutaways. So I'm hooped up in my 4x4. I hope this is okay. Remember, when I'm doing this sew along with you, I'm doing this for the first time. So we're doing it together. So if you catch something or you see something, let me know. But I looked at the size of the design. And if you look right here, it's 3.73 by 3.67. So it should easily fit into your 4x4. So I'm just going to use my 4x4. If you want to go ahead and use the 5x7 for this, go ahead and do that. We're hooping the stabilizer only. Let's go load the embroidery file into the machine. And before we do that, we're going to fold the bucket pocket fabric. So your bucket pocket, and it's always good to check your measurements and make sure it looks right. This is, and I have all of my pieces that we're going to be using. Everything's organized. Here is your shape flex. So you needed a piece of shape flex, or they call it just, if fusible woven, but I used Shape Flex, and I'd put it on here that you needed a piece that was 5 inches by 4¼ inches. And that's because we are going to fold this piece in half. I bind all of mine and have them put on a clear cover on the front and back. Oh, you bind them all. Oh, that sounds so nice. I should do that. My books are all falling apart. Okay, so I'm going to take this. There's really no right or wrong side to this. So let's just go ahead and give this a little press. And then we're going to tuck that Shape Flex into one side. We just need it for one side. Fold the bucket fabric in half, widthwise, right sides together. And if you stabilized it with Best Press, it always holds that crease really well. And then you're going to take your fusible, and it says, okay, I had to read this twice when I was looking at the directions before. Right sides together, press well. Iron fusible backing to the wrong side. This would be widthwise, right sides together, press well. Iron fusible to the wrong side of the folded bucket pocket fabric. So here they show you the folded edge. So here's my folded edge up here. This is going to be your wrong side. You're not tucking it in. You're just going to iron it right there. Mine's a little short. I had a 4-inch piece and I was like, oh, I'm just going to use it. So I'm just going to iron it down. Remember, with your fusible, bumpy side is the fusible side. So we're just going to go ahead and press that down. I guess this really matters if you had it. Making up my own words today. If you had a right and a wrong side. Now we're going to go over to the machine and let's stitch the bucket placement line. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to place this on the bucket's placement line like this, and then we're going to fold that up. So you need a little piece of tape for that. So let's go over to the machine. I am on a Brother Luminaire. We are Baby Lock and Brother dealers. And I already brought this up. So I found this interesting. I think we're going to be spending a lot of time in here today. But if you look at your folders and you go into Cup of Cheer Quilt, not your quilting stitches, but quilt, this is dimensional pocket. So you're going to go into your dimensional pocket blocks. Go ahead and touch that. And then we are doing the one that has the 7, the 8, and the 9. So you're going to go ahead and load that, and it's going to be your 5x7 tree bucket. Can I make these even bigger, or is that as big as they go? Oops. Let me get rid of that background. That was, I was scanning something. That's going to be for our sew along. Let me get rid of that. Off. It's as easy as doing that. I like to go in here, and I'm just checking. I can't see my messages. Like, I have to kind of peek over. So if I don't answer you right away, that's why. I'm going to go in here to my settings, and I like to pick the size of the hoop that I'm using, and I'm going to be using a 4x4. Go ahead and say okay, and you can see it just snugs right in there. And if you don't have a 4x4, that's fine too. You can just use your 5x7. But I had some extra stabilizer, and I was like, oh, let me just use it all up. Okay, let's see what they say about batting and everything like that. So, or the bobbin. So you're going to see it says choose a visible thread color. So choose a color that you can see. A lot of times when it says that, I like to choose gray. So I'm just going to use this gray right here. I'm excited about starting this. This is one of those projects where I looked through the booklet and I went, oh my goodness, this is a lot. And I thought to myself, I'm just happy that I'm doing it as a sew-along. Sometimes I get overwhelmed, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because now I have a date with you each week and we can get this done. So choose a visible thread. We loaded the file and fold the bucket fabric in half widthwise. We did that. We ironed the fusible. Stitch the bucket pocket placement line. So go ahead and hit start. You might have to hit foot down and then start. Place the fold of the prepared bucket pocket fabric exactly on the placement line And then you're going to unfold the fabric right side up with the excess off the top of the hoop and the fusible backed fabric below the placement line and tape it into place. So here we go. I'm a big fan of transport tape because I like the way it rips. It rips so easily and it rips nicely and it's super sticky. When I don't want as much stick, that's when I will use, when I don't want as much stick, I'll use the Kimberbell tape. And, you know, there's a new Kimberbell tape dispenser coming out that I'm super excited about. I never got the orange one. I thought it was going to be up forever and they got rid of it. So you want this to be down. That is just our placement line. We're going to line that edge up right with the fold. And it says to tape it down. And then we're going to unfold it. Let me get some tape. Ladies, I'm counting on you today. If you catch me doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, sometimes I get busy talking. I'm talking with you. Just going to tape it down right here on the sides. And if you're using the 5x7, of course, you're going to have a little more room. And then this gets folded to the top side, and you have that fusible woven to help support those stitches. Now it says, stitch the bucket pocket tack down line. And it wants you, it doesn't say that the color makes a difference. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it with that gray. But the next stitch out needs to be in white. So get your white thread. Kim, that's so nice that you have all of yours spiral bound. I need to do that. Because my books are a mess. And my covers fall off. And I am literally still trying to use up this spool of never-ending white thread. Maybe today will be the day. Let me go ahead and put this on. You know what I was looking for, and I don't know if you ladies can find it, but I've never really noticed this little icon or symbol, and I think it means watch here or something, or I don't know what it means. But I tried to look for it in the book, and I couldn't find it. So if anyone knows what that means, or where it is in the book, let me know. Now it says stitch the advent numbers, remove block from the hoop. I'm just going to go ahead and hit start, and it's going to stitch the 7, the 8, and the 9. I was flipping through here, you know, and I couldn't, sometimes there's like guides in the front, and then I tried to look for it in the back. Oh, maybe it's here. Yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere. It means the thread is visible. That's what that means. Okay, I just thought I thought it was. Oh, I mean, is this the key right here? That's what it's telling you. Choose a visible thread color. Choose a visible, choose a neutral. So choose a visible thread color is what it means. Okay, anytime you see that I, it's going to mean choose a visible thread color. It's right there, right in front of my eyes. I don't know why I didn't see it. While it's stitching this, you can grab your next grouping of fabric, which is going to be gift box 1, and grab your 5x7 hoop. And you're also going to need some poly mesh, another piece. be doing gift box 1 next. Who else is here this morning? Maybe give a little shout out in the chat box. So cute. I always tell people this story. My first Kimberbell quilt that I attempted was Jingle All the Way. And it starts out with, is it holly leaves? And my holly leaves, I just kept getting a pucker, like a horrible pucker. And I was newer to embroidery then too. I'd never done an embroidery quilt. And I literally still haven't finished it. And afterwards I read the directions and it said to use fusible woven. And I know that would have helped me with my pucker. And yeah, at some point I will get back to it. But here is our first, this is going to be the tree bucket. And there's your little pocket. Everything will be covered up in there. So now we're going to trim the excess stabilizer only. Do not cut fabric at this time. Fold bucket pocket in half widthwise, wrong sides together, and press. And this little puppy is done. So, well, it's ready for part B. So you'll have all of those ready. I'm going to go ahead and get my scissors. Cut your excess stabilizer. Excess stabilizer only. Don't cut that fabric. These scissors are really sharp. I don't want to cut the fold by accident. I'm going to have to cut it better than that. You don't want that to peek out. And I wonder if it wants you to take off that stitch. That like basting stitch. Does it say anything about that? It does not. It's up to you how much you want to cut. But you do want it away from that fold, that folded edge. You don't want to see it. And I didn't even plan on that, but maybe from now on, we should make sure that fusible is just a smidge down from the very top of the pocket, because the last thing you want to see is that white showing. So we'll do that on the next one. We'll maybe tuck it down maybe 1/4 inch so you won't see it. You just need it there to help stabilize and just make sure it's going to be good so there's no puckering with those numbers. Okay, and then I want you to fold it over and then press well. And this one is done. If you want, for me, anytime I get like any sort of puckering at all, I like to give my, I like to spray mine from the back side and then use my wool mat, which I'm on. And I will press the heck out of this because this is going to get put down and it's going to have a satin stitch and we're going to, it's going to have a satin stitch and we're going to trim it down afterwards. But like any puckering, I want it gone. And you'll find if you use a wool mat and just a little bit of, oh, you know what? That doesn't make a difference because this gets folded over. So it doesn't make a difference. You're not going to see that white anyways. Muslin, how come you're not using... So I only use muslin, and I always mention this when people ask me. I only use muslin when I'm doing a quilt block that has batting and background fabric. If I'm doing something like this and it calls for cutaway, that's what I use. So, yeah. So Carol's done some quilts with me. Stuff like this, I use whatever stabilizer it calls for. I use muslin when there's going to be batting and backing on top because that's going to help stabilize it. Otherwise, your muslin's not enough. That's not going to be enough stabilizer for something like this. Okay, this one's done. I'm going to go ahead and clip it back with my other stuff. Hopefully I'll remember I got folded up my sticker. That's not going to work, huh? All right, I'll just put it on here. And this is going to be this pocket. So now this one is ready for when we go to really stitch it all together. Okay. We're going to do gift box 1. So gift box 1 is going to be on page 41. So 41, and you needed to cut out a piece of shape flex. So you should have one piece of shape flex. I got confused here. I got these two confused, but 3 by 5. So you need a piece of shape flex that's 3 by 5. And gift box 1, you're going to cut the stabilizer larger than the embroidery hoop. Hoop the stabilizer only. We're using light mesh cutaway. Mine's already hooped. I did that while the other thing was, and I just had this piece of leftover beige no-show mesh, which I just put in there. So it doesn't make a difference. You're not going to see it anyways. So I'm just going to be using that. And it wants you to, we need the lid fabric. Your lid fabric is going to be those pieces right there. So you should have 2 pieces of green. And don't get rid of this because you're going to have to put this all back together again. So you should have these 2 pieces of lid fabric. And then you're also going to have your box fabric, which is going to be this right here. So grab your 2 pieces of box fabric. And there's that 3 by 5 piece of fusible. This is going to be for the bow later. We're not going to be using that. I'm going to just take this and put it to the side. Put this over here. And let's go ahead and follow our instructions. So it says we'll go and do that later. We'll do this first. Fold the lid fabric 1 inch along the short edge of the fabric, wrong sides together, and press lightly. So that's going to be this, and 1 inch. And when I'm folding on stuff like this, I like to use my hot ruler. Here's my hot ruler. Where are you? Here you are. I'm going to put my book over here. And something else I'll do so it'll be nice and crisp when I'm folding stuff like this. I'll just give it a little shot of spray with the best press. And that'll make it hold that fold over. And it said 1 inch. So there's no wrong or right to this. So you're just going to take it. I'm going to fold them over here. 1 inch looks good. And about 1 inch is perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll give it a little press. Pull this out. I love my stuff to look nice and crisp. Hopefully this doesn't get folded the other way like the other ones. That's going to get folded back the other way, so you don't want to do that. You don't want it too crisp. I'm hoping this stays this way. Okay, so these are done, folded over 1 inch. Now it wants you to fold the box fabrics in half lengthwise, wrong sides together, and press lightly. So this is going to be our box. So 2 of these, and they're 6 inches by 5 inches, and we're going to fold these over this way. So we're folding them, fold them hamburger, which means you don't want hot dog where they're long and skinny. You want them a little shorter and fatter. So we're going to fold those over. I don't know why I like my fold to the right. Okay, and then it says wrong side of fabric. You're going to take your fusible backing, and you're just doing this to 1 piece. And the reason we're doing it to 1 piece is because we only have stitching on the bottom of 1 of them. So open this up, and it does want you to put it on the left side. Okay, so here's our fold right here. Put it on the left side. Remember, bumpy side down. Last thing you want to do is get all that glue on your iron. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's go to the machine. I'll fold that down. I think it stays down. All right, a little bit of prep and we're ready. Gonna come to the machine. Let's load up the right design. Oh, I'm glad that other one worked out in the 4x4. I thought to myself, was there a reason it had to be in the 5x7? My biggest fear is leading you ladies astray. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to choose my 5x7 because that's the hoop we're going to use for the next ones. Let me go home. Let's get our design. How are we doing, ladies? Hi, Miss Nancy. Good to see you. You stitching with us today? So we're going to go cup a chair quilt. We're doing our dimensional pockets. And we are doing the one, I think we're doing our dimensional pockets, are we? We're doing the one that has a 1 on it. So that should be, if you look right here, we're doing that one. Did I pass it? There we go. Should be this one right here. Gift box. That sounds right. Go ahead and set it. We're going to go, sometimes if I'm using off of the roll and keeping out of the roll, I might move my design up or down, but I'm just using this scrap piece I had. So I'm just going to hit embroidery, let it stitch right in the middle. Let me go ahead and slide on my hoop and let's read the directions. Make sure I don't need any sort of, because did I put something in here about a matching bobbin? That's for later on. Okay. So load the embroidery design. Stitch the cut box and it wants you to do a visible color. I have white in here and I have beige here, so white's going to be visible. I'm just going to go ahead and stitch that. Hi, Laura. Doing this. Follow your directions so well. This is my first. Just watching right now as I would watch again later. Oh, good. I hope this helps. I'm like super anal and I'm like systematic. I don't know. Anyways, so I kind of do things all the same way every single time, or I try to do stuff that's going to make sense or make it easier for us. So, I hope it's easy for you and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we went ahead and this said right here, stitch the cut box, and here's number 1. So this is going to be our cut box. So number 1, was stitch the gift box outline on the stabilizer. And you're going to see like the number 1 here matches the picture. So that was this gift box outline. Next thing we're going to do is stitch the cut box. And that's going to be these lines right here. So just go ahead and hit start and do the cut box. And there you hear Momo whining. Yeah. Don't forget to what?
To sign the rebate form.
Okay, we're going to remove the hoop from the machine and we're going to cut the stabilizer directly on the cut box stitch line. Extend the cut about 3/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do this on, and just do it right here on my lap.
No.
I'm going to slide this off. I have a whole bunch of different scissors in here. You just want to get something that has like a nice sharp tip. I really like these. Or the other thing you can do, I think what's actually better is to just use a rotary cutter and just cut it up and down. Let me grab one. Here's my little bitty.
Mister, this does not go outside.
I have a little bitty rotary cutter that I love. It's like a 28mm instead of a 45. And that's what I like to use. But I'll just use this and a little, whoops! Sorry. this and be easier, right? So we're going to cut straight up. Let me look at that one more time and make sure I'm cutting it right. Cut the stabilizer directly on the cut box stitches and extend the cut about 3/4 of an inch on the top and bottom. Then we're going to pull it out. I'll extend that with my scissors. Okay. All right. I think we're just going to cut it out on the very top too. So 3/4 of an inch. I'm here on my ruler so I can actually see 3/4 of an inch. Right there. I think this is going to be an exciting quilt because I think for me it's going to be a lot of stuff I've never done before. I've never done all these like dimensional pockets before, and I've done a lot of embroidery, and I know a lot of you have too. So let's go ahead and just cut them right out. Throw that away. And our next step is open the box fabric with the fusible backing and place right side up, aligning the crease with the right side of the cut box, completely covering the right half of the gift box outline. And then we're going to stitch the gift box right tack down line. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide this back on the machine. That wasn't even a quilting ruler. That was just a ruler for, that ruler was for, I think that was a, like a ruler work ruler. Okay, here's your little bits of fabric. And we're going to grab the one, I think it said the one that has with the fusible backing. So find the one that has your fusible backing. Fusible backing is going to go over this side because that's where the one's going to be. It's just going to give it a little bit more support. And you're going to open up the fabric with fusible backing and place right side up, aligning the crease with the right side of the cut box, completely covering the right half of the gift box outline. If you have your tape, we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to pull this back a little bit so I can see it right here. We're going to cover this. So your crease, your fold is going to line up with this line that we just cut. And then fold it back and make sure that you have this centered to this. You see how I'm higher up? And just bring it down just a little bit. Just so it's centered. That's going to go there and that's going to go there. And you can fold it back too and make sure you're on that line, and I am. And let me just grab my tape, and I'm just going to tape it down on the top and the bottom. There we go. Stitch, here we go. Stitch the gift box right tack down line. Color doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to leave in that white. Is this the right stitch out? Yeah. It seems so in the middle. That last stitch made me question myself. And then you're going to need black, and you're going to need black to stitch out the Advent numbers. I don't always do this, but sometimes I will match my black bobbin just so I don't see anything peeking out. Just in case, because there's nothing worse than like pin dots of white. So sometimes when I'm doing black stitching, I will just change that out. So I am going to put in a black bobbin right now. You don't have to do this. It probably won't show. I don't know. There's something about black and red. I'm going to put black thread in the upper. It's just so quick to change it out, and then it can save you some frustration. Here we go. And then this is going to stitch out the 1. Oh, there's a little bit of pucker there, huh? From that. Okay, so after you do that, it says to remove the hoop, turn the hoop to the back. So we're going to remove the hoop from the machine. We are going to tuck the left side of the fabric through the box cut in the stabilizer. So you're just going to tuck this in here. You're going to fold it. It says turn the hoop to the back and carefully fold the fabric over to the back of the stabilizer and tape the corners in place. When you don't tape, that's when you get a corner that turns under, and I'm going to turn that under just like that. Tape your corners. This transport tape, it just like is sticking to my desk. I probably used it for something else. We're going to turn it back over. I just want that for the numbers. I'm going to change this back to white. I have a little bobbin boat that I usually keep like right in front of me. Pop this one out. I love these bobbin boats. Okay. And I'm going to slide this back on. And then it wants to stitch the gift box tack down. And it says color doesn't make a difference. But the next color that is going to make a difference is going to be the green. So I'm just going to put the green in. And a lot of people will say, oh, are you pulling back on your thread? So when I take my thread out, I literally will unthread it to right here. And then it just falls right out. You just don't want to pull it back on this part of the machine. That's where you have a tension disc. So go ahead, I'm going to put the green in. This is the next color that is actually going to make a difference. This is sage. Let's see if I can remember to hit my thread button every time today, which would be a miracle. And now we're going to stitch the gift box right back tack down line. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to tell you right now that shape flex is going to be really important, because if you don't put it in, you definitely will get some puckers. with some, especially with the way we're cutting into this stabilizer, so it's not all the way across to hold it. Okay, step number 6. How are we doing, ladies? You doing okay? Here is step number 6, and it says stitch the right lid placement line. Color doesn't make a difference. This is what it's going to look like. Go ahead and just hit start and do that. And then you're going to place one prepared lid fabric right side down with the fold facing down. Align the folded edge with the edge of the gift box fabric. Okay, here's our fabric. We want to take it, we're going to put the fold edge down. So this is up, this is down. You want right side up. And we're going to cover that over. It is going to do the tack down, so we're just going to tape it up here. So go ahead and put it down. Make sure you're covering that entire area. And you want to line up the fold with the fold. So folded edge and folded edge over here on the left-hand side. And then just go ahead and put a piece of tape. We're just going to tape him down on the top. And then we're just going to go ahead and tack it down. So number 7 is stitch the right lid tack down line. This is going to be so cute. Okay, stitch open. Here we go. So it says open box fabric right side up, aligning the crease with the left side of the box cut in the stabilizer and completely covering the left half. So it doesn't say to do anything. We're not going to trim that or do anything. So open box fabric right side up. Is it this fabric? We're going to open this fabric right side up. Okay, am I reading that wrong? Who's on there? Thanks so much, so much. So, stitch the right lid. So we just did that. And then it wants us to, hang on ladies, it's taking me open box fabric right side up. So this is my box fabric. This is open box, right, aligning the crease with the left side of, am I doing this? Am I doing this? I don't know why I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this. Open one box fabric, right side up. Open it, right side up. Aligning the crease with the left side. Oh, we're just doing what we did before. I think we're just doing what we did before. So we're just going to put this on here and we're going to line that up with the crease. Sorry, ladies. I didn't know if we were working with the same fabric we had before. Oh, yes, we're just doing what we did before. Okay, let me go ahead and tape this down. And we want to line up this crease with that left side of the cut box. I'm just going to fold this back and make sure it looks okay. I'm going to put a piece of tape down here. Now you get to see like what you don't see when I'm taping something, because when I'm taping something and I have a question, I pause the video. But not when we're doing it live. And, you know, I could have also looked here on the screen. You can see what's going to be happening next. So we're just going to put that down. Tape this on. Stitch the right. So we did number 7. We open that up, completely covering the left side of the box. And then it says, oh, tuck the right side of the fabric through the box cut in the stabilizer. So we actually needed to tuck that in. I guess we can do that right now because we're not embroidering on it. Here we go. We're going to flip it. It's going to say turn to the back and tape the corners. Here we go. Turn to the back, tape our corners. And I need to be extra careful when I'm stitching with you ladies. And we're going to flip it back over. And now we can go ahead, turn the hoop to the back, turn the hoop to the front, stitch the gift box left tack down, and remove all the tape. So go ahead and, let me see, put this down. Now we're going to, so we just went ahead and we did all of these steps. We just did this. We're going to do the placement line for this piece. So go ahead and just hit start. You're going to grab this piece of fabric. I'm a big sprayer, so I'm kind of taping along with this, but most of the time I spray. So it wants you to go ahead and just line this up here, folded edge. So this is where we folded it over. Folded edge is going to get lined up with that edge over here. I'm going to put one piece of top back on the top. Let me make sure I'm not leading you astray. Stitch the left lid tack down line. And then you're going to trim the lid fabrics below the tack down line only. So the only place you're going to be trimming is like right across here, all the way across like there's an imaginary line. I want you to look at your instructions right here. It says do not trim the top part. You're going to trim the lid fabrics below the tack down line only, and they're showing it just going straight across the bottom part. So get your applique scissors. I'm going to use my snips. Where are my favorite snips? Here they are. And just go straight across as though there's an imaginary line going all the way across. Just like that. Let's go ahead and trim the other direction. And do not trim the top part. How are we doing, ladies? Everyone's good. If you have a question, just pop it into the chat window. And whatever we don't get done when we do the sew-alongs, I will record. So we just did number 10. Now we're on number 11. And number 11 is stitch the lid bottom satin outline. And there's going to be a picture right here that's showing that. And then using the box and the stabilizer as guide, we're going to place the zipper right side up. But for right now, go ahead and stitch that satin outline. You should have the green in, and get your zipper. cute are these going to be with the zippers in them? And I forgot to take off all my tape, so I'm a live it on the edge kind of girl when I'm embroidering, so I'm just going to get my tape out of there. The other pieces, like in the back, those are going to be outside the stitch line anyways, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so you should have your navy blue zipper ready to go. So cute. Okay, so here's the picture of what we're going to do next. We are going to put our zipper down and we're going to put 2 pieces of tape over it, and then it's going to stitch on either side. You are going to want to put your navy blue thread in. I was searching for the word. And when you go ahead and tape this down, make sure that the zipper pull, or actually, we need to do the placement line first. So that was step number 11. Now it says, or actually it says, do we need a placement line for this? We do not. So using the cut box and the stabilizer as your guide, place the zipper right side up with the pull at the top of the hoop, and be sure the zipper pull and stop are outside the stitch area. Place tape aligned with stitching on the top and bottom of the gift box. The tape placed at each end will help the presser foot glide over the zipper teeth when stitching. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put it up here, just like this. This is what you want out of the way, that pull. And we're just going to kind of tuck him in. You can also look below here and just make sure he's nice and even. You've got a lot of room, so you don't have to worry. We're going to take that tape, and it wants you to put it down at the bottom and at the top. I'm going to just look one more time. I can't stand when I have a zipper that's not centered. And put it right down here. They're showing a piece. Is he going to sew across? He's only sewing, and then this one's going to go at the very top. Let me move this out of the way. Right, like. Go ahead and change out your thread. And then we're going to do the zipper tack down. Hi, Miss Shannon. No worries. What kind of tape do you use? So, if I want a lot of stick, I use Transport, and I love it because it's so easy to use. It's easy to rip. It's easy to just pull apart, and then it's super sticky. So you can just use it over and over again. If I'm doing something where I'm on batting or something like that, then I use Kimberbell tape. Then I use the Kimberbell tape because it's not quite as sticky. I also need a tape dispenser for this. So I'm kind of excited for them to come out with their, there's going to be a new blue tape dispenser that's coming out soon. And I'm excited about that because I'll get that. I don't like the way it rips. It doesn't rip. The paper tape doesn't rip as well as the Transport tape. So I like the Transport tape. Here we go. And now it's just going to tack down both sides. Boop. I don't know if you ever forget that, but I seem to. Here we go. So it says stitch stitch the zipper tack down line, and then it says remove block from hoop, remove tape, trim excess stable, ladies, and then we're going to be done. This is part A. All right, we're going to slide this off the machine. It should tidy up a little bit. And I'm going to grab applique scissors. You don't want to accidentally cut into your fabric. Let me go ahead and take this tape off. If you could see the end of my table, it has a bunch of pieces of tape on it. Because I just pull them off there and I just use them over and over again. Why not? They're sticky and they're already ripped. Okay, we're going to pop this out. And it just says to remove from block, remove the tape, trim excess stabilizer, only around the perimeter of the design. So let's flip it over here. Take off the tape. Don't cut your fabric. Sometimes I just throw them away though. Oh my God, that's so cute. Isn't that so adorable? And I'm going to just use these to trim around it. Actually, we're just trimming around, so don't cut your zipper. And then this one is done, and you can just put this to the side too. I'm going to go ahead and restack this with my other piece over here. So this was gift box 1. And now I'm just going to restack it with this. And this is ready. All right, we are ready to move on. Next one we're going to do, this is tidy time. Let's go ahead and clean up just the tiniest bit. We are going to do gift box 2, part A. How are we doing on time? 11. So we've been going for about an hour. I think we're doing pretty good. Maybe not. Because the goal is to get, in our 3 hours so long, we'll get as much done as we can. So hopefully we'll get at least this done and into, it'd be nice if we could get into this part. If we don't, I will film all of this and then it will be your homework. But if you need the videos will be done. I try to do them sooner than later, depending on what I have going on. Okay, gift box 2. This one will go faster because we just did gift box 1. And I'm not going to be confused when it comes to that left side. So heat up your iron because we're going to do a little bit of pressing again. If you look at your spreadsheet, we are on page 44. So let's go ahead and turn to page 44. It's just the next design over. And this one is going to have the red zipper in it. So the pieces that you're going to need is you're going to need that piece of Shape Flex that is 3 inches by 5 inches. You're going to need the lid top, and then these are going to be your main pieces. I'm just going to put this here. Let's put this to the side. So we know what to do this time, right? We're going to go ahead and spray these over 1 inch. I like a nice crease, so I'll go ahead and just give mine a little spray. And then these, remember we're going to fold these, not hot dog, but hamburger, where they're a little bit wide, not as wide, and a little taller. Okay, I think my iron is ready. And it doesn't have to be this precise. I just love Best Press. It's like so incredible. Okay, so those two pieces are done. We're going to fold these in half, and then we are going to add that fusible woven to one of these. And you can look and see which side you want to be showing and which side makes more sense. I mean, this is non-directional. So you're going to have a right side to your box and then a left side, but I have that big upside down. I like it this way because I have that facing up. We'll do it.